Finally, we have confirmation that we're getting a parody of that in Scary Movie 6. Let's talk a little bit about it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I want to be a fighter, like you.
Oh, let it burn! Let it burn!
Did you miss me?
You have to shoot them in the head. They always come back.
The boat can leave now. Tell the crew.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Good luck.
Hey everybody, I'm Killjoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Like many of you, I really enjoy physical media and shopping for it online. Sometimes these seemingly legit offers with some rare-looking discounts end up being total scams though. Thankfully, NordVPN has you covered with Threat Protection Pro. Simply enable it on your device and it will warn you if you're about to waltz into a scammer's shop. The cybersecurity tool has stopped millions of scams from happening just last year. NordVPN protects you from dangerous websites and malware too. It's essential for surfing the web with ease and ordering your favorite horror movies online without the worry. It even allows you to access streaming sites while traveling if that's more your speed. You can download NordVPN by clicking on the link in the description below. Thank you so much to NordVPN for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get into the updates. Most of you have probably seen Sam Raimi's Send Help by now, an absolute banger movie. Make sure to check out my review if you missed it. But Sam Raimi has also produced a lot of really cool features in the last 20 years or so. One of those movies is Crawl from 2019, directed by Alexander Aja, and it's one of the coolest creature features I think from the last 10 years. A few years ago now, Crawl 2 was announced, and it had a really exciting plot description. Sam Raimi has thankfully given us a bit of an update on what's going on there. Chatting with The Wrap, Sam Raimi explained, "We've been trying to get a go from the studio, and they changed hands. Paramount Pictures did, and now the new group that's come in I've worked with before, the ladies and gentlemen that are great at development, and they're interested in Crawl 2. That's all I could really say right now, is now I've got a new hope to make it. I really hope this happens because I think the original Crawl from 2019 just has the best of both worlds from Alexander Aja's catalog as well as Sam Raimi. You have the high tension suspense throughout every single sequence of this movie from a typical Alexander Aja flick, and you also have some great deep characters, something that Sam Raimi movies typically have unless we're talking about the original Evil Dead. But that's not a dig towards the original Evil Dead. That movie is still a masterpiece despite all of that. Also, I'd be hitting myself for this later if I didn't mention it, but Kaya Scodelario stars in that 2019 Crawl movie. Dude, such a great actress, so underrated, put her in more stuff. Crawl 2 was said to take place in New York City this time around, opposed to Florida, during a flood where alligators emerged from the sewers to attack pedestrians. A screenplay for the sequel already exists, written by Andrew Deutschman and Jason Pagan, who also penned the script for the 6th Paranormal Activity flick, The Ghost Dimension. I want this movie to happen so bad. I love me a good creature feature. Primate was such a breath of fresh air from earlier this year. While we get them all the time on streaming and they're hit or miss, when we get them in the theaters, they're typically pretty good. Give me more hungry alligators. Did you ever break one of those plastic hippos because you were mashing it too hard trying to collect more marbles than all of your friends? Maybe you don't, but I certainly have trauma from that time period, and I think this new movie is certainly going to hit on that a bit. Madison Davenport stars in the new creature feature Hungry that focuses on a killer hippo, a terrifying creature that simply does not have enough horror movies based on it. Deadline reports that the thriller follows a group of holiday makers who must fight for their lives against a rampaging hippo on the loose after becoming lost in the Louisiana swamplands. The film is also said to be using practical effects, which that and creature feature are a match made in heaven, baby. These are going to be created by Dan Martin, who also did the special effects for Brandon Cronenberg's Infinity Pool, as well as Richard Stanley's Color Out of Space. Two movies, and I cannot stress this enough, that have impeccable practical effects. Y'all remember the fucking alpacas or whatever in the barn in Color Out of Space? Oh my god. Hippos are fucking scary, man, outside of the fact that they're gigantic. They also have those teeth that are like long pillars. Imagine one of those things getting shot up into your leg. Ugh. I'm really excited to see this one, and hopefully none of those holiday makers have any big boulders on them.
It's not just a boulder, it's a rock.
The board games will tell you that the hippos are hungry for those. I don't believe it. Let's talk about everything we know so far regarding In a Violent Nature 2, as well as giving a big ol' nasty update on it. After the pseudo Friday the 13th inspired slasher shocked audiences back in spring of 2024 with a pretzel-themed kill so gnarly it even made Art the Clown weep, a sequel was quickly announced later that year. Once again, coming from writer-director Chris Nash and seeing the return of Rye Barrett playing Johnny, a slasher icon in the making, In a Violent Nature 2 follows the misunderstood hook-wielding killer as he descends upon a summer camp this time. He crosses paths with an outcast camper who is forced to spend the night with his counselor's sister and her friends at their annual end of the season party. This, of course, happens right after another group of unsavory teenagers, likely the ones ending up at that party, steal his precious golden locket again. Johnny loves his toys, man. I love this idea for a sequel because I can see Johnny befriending this outcast camper, maybe feeling bad for him. Remember, Johnny is an outcast himself. That's what led to his death and turning his spirit into an immortal, vengeful slasher, basically. I wonder if Johnny is trying to protect this little fella from a similar fate. We only got a taste at the killer's backstory in the previous film, so maybe we see a new shade of Johnny here in the sequel. That, and hopefully a kill that somehow tops the yoga one from the previous film. The movie shot back in September of last year and is currently in post-production. I could see it coming out this year, although we do not have a release date yet. With that plot synopsis being all about like the end of the season, the end of summertime, essentially, I could see In a Violent Nature 2 dropping sometime maybe in August or September of this year. Hopefully we get some sort of announcement for this one soon, but I'll keep you updated if anything else drops regarding Slasher Walking Simulator Part 2. Technically, we've already discussed this on the page, but recently it's been in the news again that A24 has acquired the rights to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. The bidding war may have quietly ended a few months ago, but it's just officially been announced that yes, A24 got the rights to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I want to talk a little bit about their plan again, in case you missed it. Diving into A24's plan with the Cannibal Family IP here, first up is a TV series from executive producer Glenn Powell, yes, that Glenn Powell, as well as Roy Lee and Steven Schneider from Spooky Pictures. These are two producers we talk about on the page quite a bit because they have been attached to numerous horror hits. I'd literally be here all day just talking about some of the movies that they've been a part of. Kim Henkel is also involved, who of course co-wrote the original 1974 classic with Tobe Hooper, who of course has since passed away. He's been instrumental in many of the other installments since. JT Molnar will be picking up the chainsaw this time around and heading this new series. Molnar recently stated about the project, "I've said publicly that I'm not interested in remaking perfect films, and the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a perfect film. Tobe Hooper and Kim Henkel created something bold, transgressive, and truly seminal that holds up even today as the gold standard for horror. When the opportunity for a long-form exploration into this world arose, I saw it as a fresh way in, as well as a way to honor the existing folklore. I can't imagine better partners for this approach than A24. This is truly an honor." We're in good hands here with JT Molnar. This is the guy who also put out Strange Darling back in 2024, and also wrote the screenplay for The Long Walk from 2025. Two movies that ended up on my top 10 lists for their respective years. Kim Henkel has even said about the project, "It was a difficult decision, but A24's embrace of boundary-testing genre film and its record of working with artists who are inclined to test boundaries made them a compelling choice. There's an epic tale lurking in the chainsaw backstory." So it sounds like this new thing is going to be a prequel series very similar to what A24 is doing with Friday the 13th. That whole Crystal Lake series is basically going back before the events of the original film and giving us a little bit of a background on Pamela Voorhees, Jason's mother. So what will this show do to go back in time, maybe show the Sawyer family before the events of 1974's Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Perhaps. It sounds like JT wants to respect that and just be able to tell his own story. I think that's the way to go. I don't think you're ever going to improve upon the 1974 film, even though the 2003 remake comes close. Now, maybe you're someone who's not as interested in a TV series. Thankfully, a movie is also on the way. We don't know much about the feature yet, but outside of having the same producing team, I strongly doubt JT Molnar will also spearhead that project with how much is on his plate currently. It's rumored that the film is going to go to Netflix as well, just like the 2022 film, which means it might not get a physical release, and that bums me out. Hopefully Netflix has learned something from dropping that final episode of Stranger Things in theaters, and they made bank on that. Fingers crossed, baby. There's also rumor that All American Massacre is actually going to get a release sometime. This is of course the Texas Chainsaw Massacre spin-off film that focused on Bill Moseley's Chop Top character. Hopefully we see the family feasting upon some human meat sometime very soon. We have been speculating on this for so damn long, but thankfully now it is officially confirmed that Scary Movie 6 will be doing a parody of the Terrifier franchise. Over this past weekend at Spooky Empire in South Carolina, a video came out of Dave Sheridan, who's likely reprising his role of Officer Doofy in the film, congratulating Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp on her role in the upcoming parody movie. Dread Central reported soon after that the scene in question is a parody of Terrifier 3, specifically an explosive moment during the Santa meet and greet. Some other details regarding the scene is that it was originally cut to trim down the upcoming feature, but was placed back in. Not only does it feature Felissa getting covered in blood, but also Michael Levy from the Terrifier films will make an appearance here as well. This is so cool that we got two actors who have some smaller roles in the Terrifier franchise being able to do something crazy to make fun of itself here in the Scary Movie. Michael Levy is of course Will the Exterminator, who gets decapitated in the original film. We've had him on the page before, much love to Michael. And Felissa Rose is that screaming teacher who's only in Terrifier 2 for like 3 seconds. I'm so happy they're in this, and I cannot wait to see what their version of Art the Clown is gonna look like. I am so damn excited for this flick that drops on June 12th of this year. It ought to be a good Scary Movie sequel, and there's not too many of those. Scream 7 has been officially rated R for strong bloody violence, gore, and language, all good things and music to the ears of slasher fans. On top of that, as I was uploading my last Scream 7 update, more posters for the film dropped. Like, I only got a couple of them in there, but that day, like 10 different posters came out for this movie, and they're all cool. I mean, just look at some of these. Man, I don't even know which one I want to put up on the wall. The melting ghost faces are great, but maybe my favorite poster from this entire run so far is this floating heads coming out of the 7. That looks less like a Marvel movie poster and more like an actual poster for a horror film. These are my two favorite posters for the film so far, and there's a lot to choose from. A few other tiny tidbits about Scream 7 is that the marketing campaign is raging onward. We just got this video of Simon Beck making a ghost face in the snow with only his footsteps. Wow, that's impressive. The film also just broke a franchise record for most first day ticket pre-sales, with fans getting really excited over this one. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost there. Scream 7 drops on February 27th in a little over 2 weeks from right now. I cannot wait to find out who's underneath the mask this time. Wow, lots of updates today, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know which one has you the most excited down in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.